What's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy Action Jackson, man. In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my ways and how we beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. So before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think might enjoy my content, man. You guys already know when I make these videos, I go over the injury report. So to hop into it, anyone that has a dash next to their name, like Dante Fowler, Jaron Curse, DeMarcus Lawrence, Michael Parsons, they're all going to play. Jake Ferguson's out with a concussion. Dorrance Armstrong's questionable with an ankle injury. Andre Cisco is going to play. And everyone below him, Chad Muma, Brandon Sheriff. I found out about anywhere from 15-30 minutes ago that Trevon Walker was declared out of the game. Chad Muma is questionable. Trevor Lawrence is questionable. Darius Williams questionable, and Andrew Wingard is questionable. So hopping into it, man, the number one thing that we should prioritize when playing this team is stop the run / the RPO. We are playing against Doug Peterson, who's formerly the Eagles head coach. And back then, they were still running RPO, and they still run RPOs now. And so stop the run because they got Travis Etienne, and also Trevor Lawrence is also a guy who can use his legs. I've always been seeing that his years throughout in the 2 years in the league. I also saw all throughout his years in Clemson. So make sure that we stop the run. Watch out for the RPO. Make sure we're playing on our zones. We're sticking to our mans and everything like that. They have some solid weapons. They do have Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, who we saw last year on Thanksgiving when he played for the Raiders. Then you have Evan Ingram. So they have some solid guys on that end. Which leads into my second point. Let's make sure that we're playing our man and our zones correctly, because Zay Jones and Christian Kirk, they both can burn you. Like last year on Thanksgiving when we played against the Raiders, every single time that the Raiders wanted a penalty, they'll just send Zay Jones deep, and Trevor Lawrence does have a decent arm where he can get it down there, and all Zay Jones has to do is flop, and they're going to throw a penalty every single time. So let's also make sure that we clean up on our penalties as well. But like I said, let's make sure we're playing our man or zone. Our man or zone, whatever coverage we're in, let's make sure that we're playing that correctly, because if not, we can easily get burned. And today is definitely going to be a key for Malik to definitely be favoring one side more than the other, meaning I want him more when the cover 3 look. I want him helping Kelvin Joseph, because that's where I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to attack more on that end. They're going to try to put that Zay. They're going to try to put Zay Jones or Christian Kirk, one of those two, on Kelvin Joseph, because he is the newly acquired corner who's finally getting some play time. So they're definitely going to try and pick on him. They're not going to try and test Trevon Diggs. They might every now and then, but they're not going to try him often. Let's make sure we get pressure on Trevor Lawrence. Let's stop the run on our way to the pass. So let's make sure that we're stopping the run and we're honed in on that. But once we know it isn't a run play or even an RPO, let's get after Trevor Lawrence. Another thing, we got to put up a spy on him also, because like I said, he can use his legs. So if the pocket breaks down, he's easily going to get you 10-15 yards. So it's key that we play a lot of big nickel, which we're probably going to play anyway, because your outside corners are going to be a mixture. Trevor Diggs is definitely going to be your corner one, but it's going to be a mixture between Deron Bland and Kelvin Joseph at your secondary corner. We're most likely going to have Jaron Curse in the slot playing that big nickel role. They're going to have Donovan Wilson, and then coming down in the box, and then you're going to have somebody like Malik playing over top. So it's key that we have like a Donovan Wilson, a nice athletic guy that we have, like either Jaron or Donovan Wilson, quarterback spine. But I know since watching a lot of Cowboy game, we put Donovan Wilson at that quarterback spot because he has a nice change of direction. He's really fast as well, and he can hit. So let's make sure we get pressure on Trevor Lawrence. Run the ball at Jacksonville. Some things that you just can't do against youngster linebackers is run sideline to sideline. We can run some stretch plays, but if we're running stretch plays, let's have that be with Tony Pollard. Don't have that be with Ezekiel Elliott, because we know he's not that back anymore. He can take us side to side and outrun you. He's no longer doing that. Let's make sure if we are running side to side, it's with either Tony Pollard, but we're having a lot of pulling plays where we're pulling our tackles. We have Tyler Smith and then Zach Martin pulling into motion and having those guys, of course, do lead blocks for Zeke or Pollard. So like I said, let's run at Jacksonville, not side to side. They are 14th against the run, so they are in the middle pack. They're in the middle of the pack of stopping the run. They're not that great, but they're pretty decent. Get the ball out quickly. Tyron Smith is finally taking his first regular season snaps with the 2022 season, so he's going to be a little bit rusty. So it's really key that we get the ball out quickly because this team is scrappy, and you don't want Josh Allen or any other. You don't want Devin Lloyd, Chad Muma you don't want those guys getting free hits on your quarterback. So let's make sure we're getting the ball out quickly, fast, early, and often. They are 28th against the pass, so I believe we will be able to throw the ball against them. But I'm more of let's stick to our identity of running the ball. That's who I know what we are. We're a balanced team. We run the ball 30 times. We run the ball 30 times. We have 30 pass attempts. We're going to win almost every single game. As well as when we play great defense. That's when we beat up on a lot of teams. Clean up our penalties, like I said. But this is the final stretch of the NFL regular season. You have 4 more games left. You have this week. You have Saturday, and you have Thursday to round out December. Then you have 1 more game in January. In terms of regular season against the Commanders. So let's clean up the penalties. Like I said, Jacksonville is a team that's still in the playoff picture, so they're definitely going to at least try and make the playoffs. So they're not going to be no slouches. Then of course you got your other 3 opponents, those for sure being playoff teams who want to make the playoffs, and Washington, Philly, and then Tennessee. So clean up the penalties, and also don't turn the ball over. Don't put Jacksonville in short field situations to where they can run their RPO offense really efficiently. And that's it really. And then also last point, let's try to get let's try to get on this team early. I understand I've been saying that for at least the past 3 weeks. I definitely mean it, because this is a team, honestly, in Jacksonville that is going to be tough. This is not going to be a team where it's going to be an easy push. You are more talented than the Jaguars. The only thing that separates between you and the Jaguars is that you have way more talent. You've been a talented team. This is a team that's been to the playoffs at least one time, and you have a bunch of other players that's been to the playoffs a couple of times. So, and they, most of the team has played in big games. So, Jacksonville, a lot of their players in Jacksonville hasn't just done that yet. So, you're gonna win this game off of playing your game, because you are a better team than them, and then also you have more experience in them. So let's make sure we get on them early. They are a solid football team, but trust me, if you can get out early on this team, it's going to be really difficult for them to come back, because their offensive line isn't really that great. It's solid, but it's not that great where they can stop your pass rushers like DeMarcus, Micah, Dorns, Dante. I expect Dante to have a solid game, especially since he originally got drafted by this team. I could see a game where he goes off today. Like I said, let me go over the ways again of how we beat Jacksonville. Number 1, we stop the run / RPO. We know that Trevor Lawrence can run the ball. They're going to do a lot of read options. They're going to try to get Travis Etienne in space. Watch out for the screens and things like that. Make sure we're playing our man and zones correctly, because we're going to run and make sure both coverages in the game. Let's make sure that we're paying attention for Zay Jones and Christian Kirk, because they can beat you over top. Get pressure on Trevor Lawrence. Any and all quarterbacks pressure, they fold in pressure, but the really elite, the top 5 quarterbacks really can withstand pressure. But Trevor Lawrence, he's still developing as a quarterback in the NFL, so let's get pressure on him. Run the ball at Jacksonville. They have stud linebackers with Devin Lloyd and Chad Muma, where you're not going to be able to beat them all the time, going sideline to sideline. Unless if you're going to run the ball sideline to sideline, make sure you have pulling guards or pulling tackles like Tyron, Tyler and Zach Martin out in space. Get the ball out quickly. They have Josh Allen. He isn't a joke. He is a really solid pass rusher. You don't want these Jaguars having free hits on your quarterback. So let's make sure we get the ball out quickly. Dak, Kellen Moore, clean up on the penalties. It's really key for us to clean up on our penalties, especially when you're heading down the stretch of making the playoffs. And it's really key that you play clean, solid football. You cannot have a sloppy start like how you did last week. Don't turn the ball over at all. You can't turn the ball over and give Jacksonville short fields. Yeah, that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Happy holidays. Bye.